Hi, welcome to the very first episode of Keto News Live. We're very excited. We're live on Instagram right now, and replays will be available on my feed, also on IGTV and YouTube. So today we're going to talk about some of the latest developments in the keto community. Hope you find it interesting, informative, and maybe we'll have a little fun along the way. Hey, Christina, Barry, good to see you. Thanks for joining here. Hello to Boston and Boston Marathoner. Nice to see you tonight. Welcome to Keto News Live. We'll give a minute, Johnny, we'll give a minute for other people to join. But while we're doing that, before I introduce myself even, to help give people time to join, maybe a good time to talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about tonight here. So that's a good place to start, and I'll introduce myself a little bit afterwards. So bear with me technically here. Hey, Danny, Meg. So here's some of the stuff we'll talk about tonight. So we'll talk about all sorts of new developments within the keto community, some new scientific research. We'll talk about a surprising new health benefit for keto that may be a little unexpected for you. And we'll talk about some keto content that you might want to binge watch if you're kind of Netflixed out and looking for other content to take a look at. We'll take a look at some of the hot new products that are keto friendly that are on the market, and we'll also talk about some of the best websites that you can go to for reliable keto information. And yes, I'll finally give away details about the giveaway that some of you have seen, and we'll have some developments from the sugar lobby and how that is impacting the keto lifestyle. And we'll also open it up for questions at the end, whether any questions you might have about keto, whether newbie or advanced, we'll try to get into that also. So those are some of the things we'll take a look at here. I don't know how long this will take, but glad you're along with us tonight, and we'll see how it goes. So before we go further, let me just introduce a little bit about myself and why I'm doing this. So I'm Lenny. Obviously, I'm sorry. I've got one other bit of housekeeping to take care of. So I was just trying to say that, this is somewhat of an experiment that we're doing tonight. This is the first time, obviously, that we're doing this, and so it might not be the smoothest broadcast you've ever seen, but hopefully that means we'll avoid having a total train wreck, and if things go wrong, maybe that'll just make it more entertaining along the way. So a little about myself. I'm Lenny. I've been keto for about a year and a half, and I love what keto is doing, for my health in general in a lot of different ways. And I really, more than that, I think I'm glad that I found the keto community. Keto's been tough. It's got its ups and downs, and to find the community out there that's really supportive, sharing stories, experiences, information, has been super helpful. So I'm hoping that, I'm sort of an information geek. I spend way too much time on the internet, and I'm looking for answers when I'm doing keto. And then you'll see the keto cat going behind us, and he might kind of wander in from time to time. But so I always look for information. I'm not satisfied with keto is going well for me. I want to know how keto works, why keto works, and maybe that helps me figure out some things, how to do it better. And I'm sure a lot of us have those same kind of questions. Am I doing it right to begin with? Are there better ways to do it? Should I be trying this? Should I be trying that? The questions are endless. What about supplements? What about intermittent fasting? How do macros work? Things like that. And things are changing in the keto community really on a daily basis. There's all sorts of new information out there, new products on the market. So I thought this might be kind of an interesting and fun way for us to share some of that information. And I want this to be interactive too. If you've got things you want to contribute, to anything that's going on here, feel free to write into the comments. As I said, we'll have questions towards the end, and in particular, feel free to ask questions anywhere along the way. My daughter's jotting down the questions, so she'll keep up with the questions as they come in, and we'll have a dedicated Q&A section, towards the end for any questions. Like I said, newbie, advanced, or otherwise. So bear with me. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out the technology of this. I think I've got it down, but you might have to bear with a few glitches here and there. So let me see if I can find what I was looking for. Here we go. So I'm hoping that we can do this, every month. And my goal is to do this on the 8th of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And the way maybe we can help remember this is it's going to be a discussion about what you ate and how it made you great. And I know that's a little bit corny, but I find that anything that can help me remember things is definitely a good thing. All right, so if you're ready, we can get into this. So the first thing that I want to talk about is new keto research that's out this month. So some new keto research is out that was done by the University of California, San Francisco. And this is the real deal. It's a peer-reviewed study that showed up in the journal Cell, talking about some unexpected benefits from the keto diet. And so what they did was they took a group of adult male subjects and divided half, gave half the standard American diet and gave half the keto diet, with about 5% carbs, so they were right on with their macros. And I'm not sure what the objective of the study was, but what they found was that there were significant changes to the microbiome in the digestive system. They said that 19 different types of bacteria that populate our guts and our intestine were significantly changed and improved by being on the keto diet. And in particular, they found that the microbes that dealt with inflammation and were anti-inflammatory, and in fact some of the ones that can help with autoimmune disease, were particularly helped by this. And what they also found was that when they switched the two groups, the keto diet went standard American diet and vice versa, the results were exactly backwards. So they were able to show some causation there, that the keto diet seemed to help with this. They extended the study with rats, and they found the same thing there also. And what also happened was that they found that the ketone blood levels, the levels of ketones in the subject's blood directly correlated with the changes that were taking place with the microbiomes in their intestines. So they seem to show that going keto, having higher blood ketone levels definitely improved the microbiome. Now with the rats, there was one side effect they found also, that all of the rats, no matter what the diet, gained weight, but the rats that were on the keto diet gained significantly less weight than the rats on the standard American diet. So again, that sort of verified that keto is beneficial for weight loss. And, but the whole thing talking about the microbiome is fascinating because it sort of backs up, what the overall health benefits of keto. That it's not just for weight reduction, that there's significant other health benefits that take place. Many of you or people may have benefited from in terms of type 2 diabetes, Hashimoto's disease, certainly LDL and cholesterol levels and heart disease and all of those sorts of things. And I think most of us, have heard the tale, which is true if you can look it up, that keto was not discovered or invented as a weight loss program. It was a medical protocol that was first developed in the 1920s at the Mayo Clinic as an epilepsy treatment for adolescents who did not respond to other treatments. So we've known for 100 years, the medical community has known that keto has significant health benefits, that it benefits you systemically, metabolically, and so forth, and it's only been the last maybe 10 or 20 years that it's become popular because of the weight loss that's involved. So this is further, I think, verification, from the UCSF study that keto has many health benefits. We've probably only scratched the surface of where we're going with that, and I'll put a link to the study in the show notes if you'd be interested in investigating that further. So, again, let me bear with me while I go through to make sure I've got the right slides here. This is part I was talking about in terms of the technology that allows me to do this. So, we've got some audio-visual aids so that you don't have to just look at me yakking on and on for the entire time you're here. So, keto events. Obviously, a lot of keto events have been rescheduled or canceled because of the COVID-19 outbreak. Low Carb Salt Lake City was originally scheduled for April. That has now been pushed back, I believe, into October. But the big news with keto events, of course, is that KetoCon, which was supposed to be scheduled this weekend in Austin, has simply been canceled for this year. It's moved back to the same time in early June in 2021. People who have tickets will simply roll over to that event. We were going to exhibit there. As a keto food entrepreneur, as one of the exhibitors, and maybe I would have met some of you there, which would have been great. But, maybe I'll meet you there next year if you're there. But there was some good news that came out of the cancellation of KetoCon this year. And that's what I was talking about in terms of keto content that you may want to binge watch. So what KetoCon has decided to do because of the cancellation is they videotape all of the sessions that take place there and all of the presentations from the keto experts. So they are taking that and they are going to put all of the presentations from the last 2 years of KetoCon and make it available for free. And these are all of the keto experts that we know and love. Maria Emmerich, Danny Vega, Ali Miller, and all of those people. All of the presentations that they have are now going to be available online for free. And so that's a huge bargain. So you're hearing from the top keto experts. You don't have to worry about, is this information reliable? Do these people know what they're talking about? These are the top experts in the country, in the keto community, and you can listen to all of the presentations that they've given in 2019 at KetoCon. And this is not available even for people who attend KetoCon in person. KetoCon has 4 different tracks going on at the same time. And so you can't attend physically all of the presentations. The only way you can watch all these presentations normally is you have to be a VIP attendee of KetoCon, which is extremely expensive. So normally to see all these people, you have to not only attend KetoCon, but you have to spend additional money for the VIP package. So you can access this by going to ketocon.org/videos. I highly recommend you take advantage of this. I attended last year, and the information that you get from these presentations is mind-blowing. And they cover every aspect of keto, all the way from basics: how do I start keto, how does it work, how do I make my macros. But you hear a lot of medical presentations. You hear a lot of success stories from people who have dealt with brain cancer. People have dealt with traumatic brain injuries. And here you see Ali Miller explaining, how keto affects you at the mitochondrial level. And so they really go into detail about the benefits of keto and why it works and what you can expect, hopefully doing keto moving on. So I highly recommend that, ketocon.org/events, to learn more about that. So speaking of learning about more, let me see if I can find the next slide here. So each month, we'll also look at a website. There's a lot of information out on the internet on anything, not just keto. But needless to say, you don't always know if you can trust the information and how reliable it is. So we're going to try and find the best of the best. The websites you can really count on reliably for keto information going forward. And the website that we're going to talk about today is, if I can find that slide, is a European website, but it's excellent, called dietdoctor.com. And here's just a slight preview of some of the content there. Well, not Danny Vega. Let's see. Bear with me. Hey, Keto Ohio girl. I did a rehearsal of this yesterday, and of course the technology was working great. There we go.
What is the keto diet? What does keto even mean, and how is it done? In this course, you will learn all you need to know.
Now, don't worry about this sounding basic. This is Dr. Andreas Infeld. He's a Swedish medical doctor, and he now runs what is the biggest health blog in Sweden. He has a #1 best-selling book that's been translated into 8 languages. And one of his claims to fame is that because he's been such a advocate for the keto diet, he claims he was responsible for a butter shortage in Sweden a few years ago, because so many people were adopting keto that they ran out of butter, and supposedly people were smuggling butter from Norway, and there was sort of a black market for butter because he helped make the keto diet very popular there. But so as I mentioned, he's a family medicine doctor, and a few years ago he had sort of a revelation, and he thought to himself, literally, why do I keep giving more and more medicine to my patients, and instead of getting better, they get sicker and sicker? So he started investigating diet and the role that diet plays in health. And then, as I said, he became a proponent for keto, and now then he decided to start dietdoctor.com. And if you go to dietdoctor.com, there's a lot of great information there on several levels. He talks about the latest keto information. He talks about medical research. He has sort of a basic Q&A, and I shouldn't say basic because it's everything from, again, keto basics to advanced and the latest keto knowledge. He also has some keto recipes. So you can basically find a wealth of information there. And one of the things that I really like, aside from his credentials and his history, is this is one of the few websites that has no ads, no product sales, no sponsors whatsoever. And not that there's anything wrong. There's a lot of great websites out there where people do accept sponsorships and run ads. It doesn't necessarily mean that the information they're presenting is bad in any way. But, if you go to diet.com, you have that sort of extra assurance that he's not, again, there's no advertising, there's no product sales, and so there's no incentive for him to plug anything that he doesn't, or say anything that he doesn't truly believe in. So dietdoctor.com, I highly recommend that, and that is our website of the month. So now we'll get into the section that might sort of become my favorite from now on, and that is the keto product of the month. I spend a lot of time, like you, I'm looking for new keto products, whether snacks, things I can cook with, and trying to figure out, what I should work with. So some of you may already be familiar with this. This is Hecka Good Foods and one of their new keto bars, and this is their brand new flavor, which is Banana Walnut Bread. They made a pretty big deal when they launched this recently, and I was very excited about it too. The reason being that I was one of these people where I sort of figured that I might never eat a banana again while the rest of my life while I'm on keto, because bananas obviously are very high in carbs. But this one actually nails the banana flavor, because what they've done is the secret sauce and the magic ingredient is they have made it with green banana flour. So I know a lot of you probably do some baking and make keto banana bread using things like ooh flavors and their banana flavored drops, which works very well. But this is actually made with real bananas, and it, if you're looking for a banana fix, this is the way to go. So I've got one right here, and what I would say about it is I'm not going to do a full-blown product review about this, but it is excellent. And I'm not an affiliate. I don't make anything off if you go and buy these on Amazon. So feel free to go ahead and do what you like with it. But so the only thing I would say is, although it tastes great, I was sort of expecting it to be more of a cake-like flavor or texture to it, because it advertised, it kind of billed itself as a banana walnut bread. But in truth, the texture is more like sort of a chewy Quest bar. Not quite as sticky and gooey in it, but it's it's got a little stickiness and gooiness to it. You may already be familiar with Hecka Good Foods and their bars, so you know how good those are. But again, if you're looking for something with a little banana in it, I highly recommend that. But a second new product that we can talk about, does it have walnut chunks? It's got very small pieces in it. I talked with, I forget his name, the guy who runs Hecka Good Foods, and they have a lot of dilemmas. So in their test marketing, they found that a lot of people wanted more walnut chunks in it. But other people said, well, if I've got conditions like diverticulitis, I don't want big chunks in it. And actually, that was the one thing I found too. I did feel it needed more walnut in it. So personally, sometimes I grab a bag of walnuts when I get this, and I eat walnuts with it, because that's how much I think it wants walnut. Needs a little more walnut going through it. One other thing I should say about it too is, one of the things I do like about Hecka bars is they're made with very clean ingredients, and they are keto certified, so you can rely that they're very clean and keto friendly. In terms of the sweetener, it is sweetened with erythritol and allulose. And they make a big deal out of the fact that it is made with no chicory root. And there's a lot of debate about keto sweeteners. So again, depending on what you're sensitive to, you can make up your own mind about whether that's the sweetener that works for you. But I do recommend these bars. I was very impressed with them. Also, in terms of new products this month, something else I want to talk about is, at home I use monk fruit. as my sweetener of choice for a lot of different reasons, and I typically use monk fruit in the raw. So I went to the supermarket this week. Oh, the tree is truly clean. The sweetness does come from allulose and Gina, you're asking about it's allulose, and they use the soluble tapioca fiber, which is sort of the new trendy sweetener in the Hecka bars. So anyways, back to the other sweetener we were talking about in terms of monk fruit. I use monk fruit in the raw, and I went to the grocery this week and I grabbed, grabbed a new box. I was running out, and I noticed that the packaging was different, and you can't quite see it because of the reversed picture here. But let me get one that you can look at. That'll make more sense here if I can find it. But anyways, it said keto friendly, which it had not said previously, so I wasn't sure if they had made changes to it or not. And so I went back to the old the old monk fruit in the raw, and what I discovered was the old monk fruit in the raw had dextrose in it, which I was not aware of. Which always goes to show you have to read the fine print. Always check the ingredients of everything you eat. Don't assume that just because it's low carb, it's keto friendly, and like we're talking about sweeteners, know what you're eating. Now, the packets are super tiny, so the amount of dextrose is probably negligible and likely not going to be enough to spike your blood sugar, knock you out of ketosis, and that sort of a thing. But again, know what you're eating. And it is a case of buyer beware, because on the front of the package, in very, very tiny print, you can see across the top, sort of, even though I'm blocking it partially, monk fruit blended with other sweeteners. So, it said, and I wasn't paying attention, that I assumed it was all monk fruit. It's not. Kind of pay attention and know what you're eating. So, anyways, let's talk about, I've got other keto news to present, but let's talk about the giveaway. So I know that, for a lot of you, thank you for joining, and I do want to, I love doing giveaways. It's fun to share keto products with other people, and you can try some of the things and see if you like them as much as I do too. So I've got sort of a grab bag of keto snacks and other products in the giveaway for this episode. I got a dang bar. I do have one of the Hecka banana bars that I am giving away. So this could be your opportunity to try it for yourself. Got a noosh bar. I think it's the blueberry muffin. Snack mix from Keto Farms. Some cheese snacks. And then also I've got the Nui keto cookie, the snickerdoodle flavor, and the Ultima. What is it? The electrolytes, the electrolytes from Ultima. So it's a nice package of keto snacks and all of those things, and hopefully one of you friends here will get it. And I apologize for there may have been a little bit of confusion in the instructions that I gave on the post about how the giveaway was going to work. So go to the I'm going to loosen things up a little bit. Go to the post that I posted the other day about the giveaway, or you can do it in this post if you are watching the replay on my feed. And hopefully you've done all the other things, like the post, comment, tag the keto friend, follow me if you're not following already. But the special requirement is that you also have to, in the comments, leave the giveaway code, which is #KetoNews. So do all those things. Like, comment, follow, tag a friend, and #KetoNews. And one lucky winner will get that nice grab bag of keto goodies, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. So next, we'll get to the Q&A if people have any questions, and if no questions come in, that's fine. But also, too, there's one thing I wanted to discuss, and this is sort of really qualifies as news, because it wasn't something I was planning to discuss today, but it's something that just happened today. And so, we want to make this current, and let me see if I can find this here. So, I got an email today that got my attention, and the subject line was, sugar in the NFL. which got my attention, and I thought, oh, I'm a football fan. What are they talking about sugar in the NFL for? That doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. It turns out it was NFL stands for Nutrition Fact Labels. You know, the label that you see on all the products, on any basically any product that you buy. You can see in the upper right corner, there's the date, June 8th. So it came in today, and it was an informational email talking about the new label requirements that the FDA is putting into effect that spell out, you may have noticed this, that you can see in the lower portion, that it breaks down, not just carbohydrates, but the amount of added sugar in the foods that you were eating. And I found this is curious, and it went on to talk about, where is it? Here's how the label works, and here's how, how much sugar is added into the product that you're making. And I thought the information was curious, and then, why am I receiving this email? Because I'm a food entrepreneur, I get a lot of information like this, but I was a little bit curious about why am I getting this friendly. And notice it doesn't say who it's from at the top. It says the original Sugar Mama, which makes it look very friendly. Thank you, Mama, for looking out for me. But then when you look closer, it is from the National Sugar Association, which is the main sugar association lobbying group in Washington. And then in the email, it directs you for more information. And it directs you to their website, where you can get all this extra information about how sugar works and so forth. And what you find is they're offering all sorts of information about, oh, here's some misunderstandings about sugar. Here's some facts about sugar. And you should really educate yourself about sugar. And I think what struck me is they're trying to present, being the sugar lobby, that, oh, not only is sugar you don't need to be afraid of, but, oh, it's really friendly, it's plant-based, it's natural, so, come on, a little sugar, the implication being a little sugar is not going to help you. And I think that's, hi, Kayla, and hi, Dole Whip Dreams, and don't worry, we'll get back into the, we just went over the giveaway code, but I'll get back to that, don't worry. But so they try to present it that it's all very friendly, and in particular, one caught my eye. This is a storybook, The Adventures of Sugar Beet and Sugar Cane, and they have these very kid-friendly, sort of cartoonish figures to educate you, and again talk about sugar is very friendly and then nothing you need to fear. And in some ways, this sort of reminded me about how the tobacco industry used to work when they used to use cartoon images like Joe Camel to try to get kids to take up smoking. So again, this is what the sugar lobby is up to. A lot of resources are being spent to try to encourage us to use sugar. And meanwhile, keto food entrepreneurs like me are trying to help get sugar out of the diet and give you, options where that's not the case. And for, all of you out there like me, we're trying to eliminate sugar. And so I was a little surprised and discouraged to get this email today showing this sugar lobby is not only alive and well, but they're very active out there trying to get us to consume even more sugar. So anyways, thanks for staying with me. This went on a little bit longer than I hoped. I hope this was informative. I hope this was helpful. And if you did, I want your feedback. If you thought this was helpful and informative, give a thumbs up or leave a comment and let me know if you'd be interested in seeing this again. If there's topics you'd like to see, I certainly welcome ideas for what sort of things would be of interest to you that you would like to discuss on future episodes. So I'm not sure if anybody has any questions. If Evangeline, has any questions come in? But otherwise, feel free to, nice toss. Feel free to throw questions into the question chat box here. But I see a couple questions, and yes, don't worry, I'll get back to the giveaway codes. I'll go through that again. How do you fight apathy? Do we know who that was from? We have that many questions? Oh, well, I'm not sure if all of you are still on or not, but maybe you'll be watching the replay. Keto Newbies ask, anything in New York City relating to KetoCon? That's something I was going to mention, too, is that a lot of... Nutty for Keto and Barry, thank you very much. Gina, too. Thank you. We'll see you next month, hopefully, too. I was going to mention this, too, earlier when we talked about events. You know, a lot of cities have keto meetups, and maybe you've discovered those. And I found an excellent meetup group here in the Twin Cities. We meet once a month. And Chicago does not. Milwaukee does. So check to see if there's a keto... If there is a keto meetup in your city. I have found it enormously helpful. You know, because it's not just about, you know, being on the keto diet and keto lifestyle every day. Support is important. You know, we've got our ups and downs. We've got our challenges. It's not always easy. And just sometimes to be surrounded by like-minded people, you know, you sort of feel like you found your community, found your tribe, and just to be hanging out with them and talk about your stories, about what's going good, what's not so great, and it is enormously helpful. So I highly recommend that. Low Carb has several events, you know, sort of mini conventions all over the country. I know Denver, Salt Lake City, Miami, and so forth. And if you're in the area, you can check out those. And on Facebook, if you find a Facebook group, there are a lot of sort of mini groups that meet in various cities, and I'd highly recommend checking that out. All right, so... wow. Oh, was that it? Oh, thank you. All right, so... Yep, keto 645 321. Yeah, agreed. Keto is high fat, low carb, moderate protein. You know, and you sort of raised the question about, you know, macros. You know, a lot of people are very strict about calculating their macros and making sure that they stick with it and hit their macro targets, which is great. Other people do sort of a lazy keto, or even sort of, you know, which kind of might drift into sort of low carb, high fat rather than official keto. You know, and you know, I'd be interested in people's thoughts on this, but mine is, you know, find what works for you. Find what's sustainable. You know, keto is not easy, so if you know, making sure you hit your keto macros, you know, whether it's 20 net carbs a day, and then here's my protein, here's my fat targets, you know, and you hit those, nail those every day, works for you in that kind of strict regimen, stick with it. Hey, Keto Cat, you know, if you want to be a little more loose and you want to go, you know, 20 net carbs, you know, if you want to go even looser and go total carbs and not worry about the net carbs, you know, that can work too. So I think it's a matter of, you know, finding what works for you, and you know, again, what's sustainable, and sticks with it. So anyways, so thanks so much. Let me go over one more time. I know a couple people just kind of joined, you know, so I'll just go over for the giveaway again. Sorry, that might not be, there we go. That might not be the easiest to read. So if you're interested in the giveaway, if you're getting this nice little bundle of keto goodies, so either in the post I made the other day with the giveaway, or in this post if you're watching the replay, you know, do the usual, like, comment, follow, tag a keto friend, and also then in the comments, put in hashtag keto news, and I'll select one lucky winner to get this nice keto bundle. Well, anyways, thank you. I hope this was helpful. You know, I hope this was useful. You know, I'll look for your feedback, you know, about, you know, what other things we can talk about in future episodes, but I look forward to seeing what's on your feed. You know, I love following your feeds as well, and hopefully I'll see you here for Keto News the 8th of next month at 8 p.m. Eastern. Take care, everybody. Keto on.